Welcome once again to Middle of the Road, a podcast for runners and would-be runners with busy schedules and big appetites. As always, I am your carb-loaded host, Christy Luke Jones, and with me as always, you could say he's one of your five a day. It's you are one. How's it going, man?
I'm good. How are you doing?
All right. I thought I'd get the food puns out of the way right now, because they will get insufferable. What's on the menu for today, dude?
So basically today we're going to talk about nutrition, eating during the week. So, and then how that comes into the training plan, and then we just like finish off with discussing about eating on the day itself.
Cool. So this is going to feel like a confessional for me. I'm going to feel like I'm in a Catholic church scenario, confessing to the priest all my sins, because this is, I've been fearing this episode.
So almost like we're getting to the meat of the topic.
We are getting to the meat, and that meat is not good quality meat. It's flabby, it's got a lot of fat that you should be cutting off, basically. Yeah, I'm feeling under pressure for this one, because it doesn't reflect well on me.
So not quite Wagyu beef, more like a pork belly.
More like a Rustler's burger.
Rustlers,
which you just ate just now, just to prove the point that nutritionally we don't know anything. So
Exactly.
Disclaimer, neither of us are nutritionists. So what we're saying in this particular episode, we can provide our own experiences and our own tips and different tricks that we've heard on the internet or from word of mouth. If you have any actual questions about nutrition, please consult a specialist.
Yes.
Now we're no longer liable. Also, one last thing. Special shout out to friend of the show, Alex Brock, who no doubt will be listening to this one. Probably on his way to McDonald's for a McMuffin breakfast. Hello, Alex. Do you want to say anything to Alex?
No, not really.
Happy birthday for yesterday, Alex.
Oh yeah, actually, happy birthday. And that'll be in one of the little bits that we'll say what we ate there as well.
Oh yeah, what we ate for his birthday meal. Cool. As we always do, round up for the week. What have you been doing, exercise and running wise?
So the week that just went, it's been quite busy actually. I haven't had much time to do exercise really. Because I had to go into London quite a lot, so that eats up quite a lot of time.
Sorry.
I didn't even think about that.
It wasn't even an intentional pun, but there we go.
But I think normally normally I would cycle into work, but I realised I have to like take my laptop home, so I couldn't really do that. So that was out of the question. Did park run today.
Have you got your time yet?
No, I haven't actually checked.
Have you got your phone with you?
Let me check that.
Okay.
No, normally we film this on a Sunday.
Okay.
No, not film. Record.
Yes. We don't film it. Maybe we could film it. Anyway, so while you was checking what his park run time was, I'll let you know what I've done. Monday, I started the week off on a good foot, actually. I did a 10-mile run, which is going to be my long run for the week as part of my marathon training. I then played football on Wednesday, and I aim to do a 6-miler tomorrow, if I can drag myself out of bed that early.
And if the weather improves.
Because currently in South England, it's like the inside of a washing machine. It's not great. What was your park run time?
It was 23:49.
That's not too bad for you, right?
So that's probably like 20-30 seconds slower.
What, than your last one?
Than last week. Actually, than my average. But
okay, so maybe you could attribute that to having a busy week and not getting a...
I think I attribute it to that I had a pint yesterday.
Really? That one pint would affect you like that? I guess it depends on the person. But I guess the day after it can kind of slow you down.
I think it depends because you just get a little bit dehydrated. You just forget to drink water and you just go out like thinking, oh yeah, it'll be fine. And
you drink less than me as well, so probably it would be like the equivalent of me having a couple or 3 maybe. Yeah, fair enough. So yeah. So I've done my long run for the week, and hoping to up that to 12 miles next week. But that's
12 miles.
12 miles, but that's a tall order to fit a 12-mile run in when it's when daylight saving times happen, so it's getting dark very early in the evening, so it's a case of getting the old head torch out and
You mean just that it gets dark? Not day. I don't think daylight saving itself is gonna changes your times.
changes my what times? I'm confused.
I'm good.
Wait. It's dark in the evening is what I'm trying to say, and I can't be bothered to run. Food. Let's talk food.
So I think as we said last week, we said we were gonna jot down what we ate during the week.
I didn't do that, by the way. Just to let you know. But I know in my heart and my head what I've eaten.
It is definitely in your heart.
Yeah.
Clogging it up. And we're just gonna compare what we ate each day, basically,
Okay.
and then we'll have a little discussion about it.
Okay. So what did you've actually done some...
I kind of done like a rough idea.
Mhm.
So I don't know how you want to do it. Do you want to do it by like the courses, like
Oh, as in like breakfast, lunch, dinner.
yeah?
Okay, go for it.
Because I'm quite. I don't know about you, but I'm quite a same like in terms of I eat the same things every day. I'm quite.
I do it, yeah, but for me it's because I'm lazy and I like
Yeah.
to have something that I can eat easily.
I'm exactly the same.
Sweet. So what's your breakfast? What's a UR breakfast? So you get out of your UR shaped bed into your UR shaped kitchen. What do you eat?
So for breakfast, I just have cereal. Normally Kellogg's Crunchy Nut
Kellogg's Crunchy Nuts, so not a particularly healthy option.
or Crave.
Is that the chocolate one?
Yeah,
Chocolate. Wow, great start.
the chocolate pockets.
Off to a bad start.
Have you ever weighed the recommended amount before of a cereal packet?
It's probably tiny, isn't it?
You know, like it's
30 grams or something?
30 grams.
Oh,
Have you
okay.
ever weighed that before?
Is it tiny? Well, as in to look at how big it looks.
Both to weigh just to see how much it is.
Oh, in terms of how many pieces of the cereal it is.
Yeah,
Is it nothing?
it's barely nothing.
Because I'm pretty sure I eat like a 90-gram bowl of cereal.
Like basically, what we didn't do it this week, but I did it in general.
Mm-hmm.
Because my partner decided to just out curiosity weigh how much I actually pour. So I poured just my usual amount, and she
Yeah.
weighed it, and it was 120 grams.
Oh my god. That is worrying because I'm sure I must eat more than you. Oh my god, 120 grams.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I was like, "Are you sure?"
Was
And
this
it was
a whole,
like-
was it like halfway up the bowl or?
It wasn't. It was about halfway up the bowl,
Oh my god.
so it wasn't like a full. Like
This is concerning.
I don't know. You see my bowls, but it's kind of hard to describe how big the bowls are.
I'm just thinking from my point of view, I reckon I'm having like 150 grams. Wow, okay. That's
And
that's
then
good to know.
weighed like 30 grams. I actually one of the days, like the day after, I go, okay, I'll try and eat 30 grams. I ate it. I was like, it was just like 2 bites.
Oh my god. So okay, so every morning you're having what? You're having a bowl of cereal. Anything else?
No, just milk as well.
And what do you have? What do you have to drink with it?
Milk.
But as in,
I don't have anything on the side to drink.
You
No,
don't?
no. I don't have juice or anything. No, I'm
holy
just
hell.
a very cereal. I'll drink the rest of the milk.
Okay,
Right.
so I'm having. So this week I've been having a bowl of cereal, so whole grain Cheerios, with some sliced. I'm sounding gonna sound pretty fancy right now. This isn't my regular thing, but I'm doing it at the moment because I'm veggie, as I've said for the month. I'm having to come up with creative ways to not be depressed about what I'm eating.
I don't
So-
think you did mention that. We haven't mentioned
I
that
not?
you're on veggie.
Okay. Spoiler alert, I'm veggie for this month for charity. I'm usually quite a committed carnivore. So it's been a tricky one. I've been on it for, what, 10 days now? 9 days? So yeah, breakfast, big old bowl of whole grain Cheerios, slice up some strawberries in there, semi-skim milk, and alongside that, a whole grain bagel with a little bit of spread on it. So I'm going all out on the whole grains and a bit of fruit, and then a coffee with it as well.
Bloody hell, that's a lot.
Yeah, but the thing is, mate, this is what I've heard. Is
Although
you need to eat more at breakfast,
Isn't it
then a moderate amount at lunch, and then what's the adage? It's
No, wait. What's the say? Is it like you eat breakfast like a king,
lunch like a prince, And then
dinner like a pauper.
dinner like a pauper. Yeah, see, I'm following that. Kind of.
At the moment.
Kind of.
To
So,
be
yeah.
honest, we're both following it because I'm eating more than the daily allowance.
Exactly. So I would
For
say.
breakfast.
So I would say, for me, from my side, I'm pretty happy with my breakfast. I tend to. It's something I can control quite well, and I think that what I've described is not too bad, at all for me. I'm
Okay.
quite happy with that. If I was to give that between a 1 and a 1 and 10, 1 being, I'm ashamed of myself, to 10 being, good work, Christy, you've done really well. I'd give myself an 8 on that.
Okay.
That's how I'm going to scale my meals.
Yeah.
How about you? Do you think you could do anything else? You should probably have some water with that, mate.
Yeah, maybe, but I don't. I just drink. I just drink the rest of the
The
milk.
most stubborn man.
I just drink the rest of the milk.
Okay,
But
moving on to lunch.
moving on.
Yeah, this is pretty. I'll go with mine first actually because this is pretty steady for me. And again, it's quite impressive for me. Whole grain wrap, a couple of falafels, bit of hummus
Yeah.
on the wrap, some salad, some diced up pepper,
Right.
and then a little bit of low fat dressing. Wrap it all up. Delicious. And
Ah.
water.
Anything else?
Not technically, but we'll get onto that.
Not technically.
But that's what I eat for lunch. So
Okay.
again, I would give myself an 8 for that on the scale
Ah.
of ashamed to really impressed.
fair enough.
How about
For me, it's normally like leftover dinner from the day before.
you?
So.
What kind of stuff? Give an example this week of what you've been
So
eating.
like this week, I ate. Imagine like half a portion of roast.
Uh-huh.
So like we had roast chicken last weekend.
Mhm.
So like imagine like a full portion,
Yeah.
but just halve it for like a lunch style. So it's just like not like 3 or 4 slices of chicken, but
Uh-huh.
more like 1 or 2,
Nice.
and then
Protein.
a couple of bits of potato. So
Any vegetables? Because
yeah,
you're
carrot-
oh really? Because you're notoriously bad at eating.
carrots, sweet corn and peas, and some gravy on top.
Nice. See, I wouldn't say that's that bad. That's a bigger because a lot of theories say that you should have. If you look at your plate, there should be a real big chunk of it that should be protein,
Yeah.
which you're getting from the chicken. A couple of bits of potato. There's your carbs because if you're going, you need carbs. Otherwise, you start burning. You need carbs to fuel you. Even if you're cycling in and stuff, you need that. Otherwise, you're going to be unable to work, unable to do anything.
Yeah.
And for you to get some vegetables in there is quite impressive.
Yeah, and then on one of the other days, I just had like a spaghetti bolognese
Nice
for lunch.
carbs, meat.
And then just some more roast. Actually, on Tuesday when I was in London, I had fish and chips at a pub.
Nice. So that's a full-on cheat day right there.
Yeah, and I
No
had,
good is coming from batter.
2 pints of beer.
No good is coming from batter. And beer. Wow.
And the beer and the fish was beer battered. as
Nice.
well,
Was
so-
this with people or did you just?
Yeah, it was with so it was
Yeah.
with work. It was a work lunch.
Again,
so-
that comes back to the whole interruptions thing. I find it difficult if I go on one of those things like a work lunch to be like, oh yeah, well, I'll have a salad. Some people might be a lot more disciplined than we are, but I personally can't do that.
Yeah, I
You'd have to hold a gun to my head. Dinner wise, because I'm veggie and I'm not used to being veggie, I've played it pretty safe. I've been getting in things like corn goujons to replace the chicken that I would normally have, and also kind of pretty good ready meals, pretty good like vegetarian ready meals.
well like those Weight
Curries.
Watchers ones.
Not the Weight Watchers ones, because I find they have like a ton of shit in them as well to keep the calories down.
The additives.
Yeah, exactly, which aren't good. So I've been having things like curries and things like that, fully veggie. So I've been keeping it because, as I said before, I get in quite late, so I've not always got time to cook.
Yeah.
But again, for me, I'm giving myself an 8 for that, maybe a 7 because some of them are ready meals. But on the shame scale, I'd say I'm pretty impressed with that.
But are you counting yesterday?
I'm not counting yesterday. Yesterday was an interruption where I had pizza, but apart from that, my dinners have been at 7. Fairly
You didn't
impressed.
just have pizza though.
Pizza, onion rings, and fries. Thanks, mate.
And a couple of.
And a couple of beers. Cool. Let's forget that. What have you been having for dinner, dude? Generally, has it been...
It's been relatively. I just had we had a lot of roast. You were there actually when we cooked the roast chicken itself.
Oh yeah, roast chicken was good.
Yeah, so
But wait, what am I saying? I didn't even have it.
you had the nut roast.
I had the nut roast. The nut roast was good. The chicken looked and smelled good.
So it was just more finishing that off for dinner.
Yeah.
And then on the other day we ordered a curry.
Yeah. Nice. Okay.
Takeaway curry. And then yesterday, we went to the pizza place. I had 2 slices.
Big slices of like New York style pizza.
So basically the size of the pizza is a 20-inch pizza.
Mhm.
So each slice was
a big old slice.
Yeah.
Kind of what you would get in a New York pizza place. Like it is really good, and again, it's a massive cheat day. But so kind of my week in terms of the meals that I've been eating, they've been good. I've been impressed with the meals I've been eating. You know, I've been doing a proper grocery shop, getting in some good stuff. But where I've fallen down, as I always do, is snacking.
right.
I'm gonna get it out there. I've had people in the office bringing in brownies.
Yeah.
I'm gonna eat those brownies straight away, which I've done. There's a couple of people that brought in Diwali, so we're celebrating Diwali.
Oh yeah.
They brought in kind of Bombay mix and other like savoury snacks that I've just been absolutely shoveling into my mouth. So really, this week, my otherwise impressive eating mealtimes has been destroyed by office snacks.
Right.
100%. And I've just gone all out. Some people in the office, I'm really impressed by these people. And if you've got any tips for us on how to have better willpower and more respect for yourself,
Just like
let me know. Because some of them, they have like one piece of brownie maybe, or a little handful of like savoury snacks, and then nothing else.
I find it depends how big your office is.
Ours is a small office, so they bring in quite a bit of stuff, and it stays there for a while.
Because for us, so basically in our area, we have like snacks occasionally that are brought in, but then sometimes either people walk around because ours is quite a big office. It has the floor itself probably has like 100 people, and then you either people just walk by and just pick it up and you say go for it, have it, and then it just disappears.
Yeah.
Or we take it and put it in the kitchen and then that like disappears completely.
See, that's good. I liked working in a big office when I was in London because if treats came in, there was a distinct possibility that if you didn't get there straight away, they would disappear.
But didn't you say in one of your places it had like an unlimited pastry section?
Yeah, that was horrendous. For me, for someone of my eating ability,
I would have loved that.
Yeah, you would, mate, but as a certain point where you forget what boundaries are. And you just live for all that food, and you just every time you go for like a toilet break or something, you're getting more food and you're bringing it back.
Yeah,
it's not good. But so yeah, for me this week, as it normally is, it's snacks that I fell down on, and I'm gonna try and incorporate better management of snacks into my marathon training because I need to be replacing things like processed sugars. I need to be replacing that with nuts, fruit, raw veggie snacks, things like that. I need to do that. I'm aware I need to do that, and I think it's common knowledge that processed sugars and things like that are just going to make your energy levels spike, and then you're going to crash.
I think it's common knowledge, and I think it's a general common theme that I don't know. I feel most people suffer from. It's quite easy to.
It's a big one.
Grab those particular type of snacks.
I think particularly for a large chunk of the global population, I don't know what the proportion is worldwide, but particularly, most of our friends work in an office environment.
Yeah.
You're sedentary for most part of the day, even if you go out for a walk at lunch or go to the gym at lunch or do sport at lunch. You're sedentary most of the day. And if there are snacks nearby, you're literally just walking up, getting them, sitting back down.
Yeah.
It's something that's so easy to fall into. Whereas when I have had periods where I've done manual work, I eat much better stuff because I'm doing that physical exertion, and your body craves different stuff.
But do you think also like during that time between, you could say, breakfast and lunch, rather than sitting down at office, although you can be busy, but in theory you're moving around, so you don't have the opportunity to almost like scroll go past a little desk with like some snacks on it. Do you think when you were doing manual work?
Yes, that's the thing. Yeah. I would say so as well. I mean, you do have the option of putting like chocolate bars and things in your pockets. You know, if you're gonna eat it, you can't be stopped. But I found literally I was craving different stuff. I was craving like protein. I was craving chicken and things like that, rather than kind of almost like the boredom snacks of chocolate and the quick fix stuff.
I guess I don't really get cravings in that sense.
Yes,
I
hate you.
No, I'm just more like, if I see a brownie, I'm just like, I'm hungry, so I'll just eat the brownie.
Really? See,
So it's not like a craving in a sense, like, if say you replace that brownie with, like, chips, I'll be like, oh yeah, some chips, I'll have the chips.
okay.
So it's not, like, necessarily a craving for a specific item.
Yeah.
It's more like a craving because I'm slightly hungry.
Oh, okay.
Like, if an apple was there, I'll be like, oh, an apple, I'll eat it.
Wow. See, we could do a whole episode, I think, on trying to unpick my poor eating psychology, but I think that would break me and you probably. But okay, so we discussed what we've had this week and kind of generally what we think of our efforts this week in terms from a nutrition standpoint. What are some, maybe we could list a couple of things that we think, if there's any runners out there who are new to running and this plan is their first foray into running, what are some healthy snacks that
What
you
have
can
we,
get in?
I guess more to the point, has there ever, I think, maybe has there ever been a time where for each of the meals, breakfast, lunch or dinner, or even snacks, where we have specifically done particularly well in our past? That we done, like, I know for snacks, I think are really good, and I don't know, I think it's quite easy in a sense, it's just getting around to do it. It's just bringing like some fruit. Yeah. You know, oranges, apples,
I think
plums, pears, etc.
I think preparation is key. I think I would say when I actually do a big grocery shop at the start of the week, and I go with a plan in mind of what I'm going to eat, I think that's when my week tends to be a lot better in terms of nutrition. Like, I will go and buy, you know, when I put my mind to it, I know what good snacks are. I know that nuts, so, you know, healthy fats, proteins, like you said, fruit, some kind of raw pepper and things to eat. I know that protein is going to fill me up better and mean that I'm not going to crash with, you know, processed sugars and things. But I have to prepare and I have to have it available to me. Otherwise, I fall back on convenience foods like chocolate and crisps.
I think sometimes you have to. I think this is more if you eat a lot more fruit and stuff. Because I always find, like, say, grapes, I find them slightly sweeter.
There's a lot of sugar in grapes.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
fructose. You often hear, oh, it's fructose. It's, you know, it's sugar from fruit. It's fine. But if you smash a whole pack of grapes, a whole punnet of, do you call it punnet? Punnet of grapes. You're still going to get a lot of sugar out of that.
I guess I guess you got to see, is that better than, say, eating a chocolate bar?
I'm not an expert, as I said, but I would say yeah, probably.
Because I don't know. I don't think you'll probably like basically smash through an entire punnet of grapes. You probably eat like half of it, while chocolate bars you could probably eat like 2 or 3 by the time.
You're talking to the wrong guy, because the whole punnet of grapes is, yeah. But
stepping away from that, has there been any like specific meals where you've done something different, where it's actually pretty good?
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, my meal, as I've said, like when I put my mind to it, my actual meals are normally pretty good. Things I've done differently with snacking is buying. It's a little bit more expensive, but buying individually portioned snacks that are packaged individually, or taking little Tupperwares with portioned out snacks. Because if I open a big bag of something, it's psychologically I'm more likely to go all out and eat the whole thing. Yeah. Whereas if I take a set amount of snack that I know I have that finite amount of snack, I will only eat that snack. Yeah. And I will only eat that amount of that snack. I'm not going to be bothered to go out of the office and get something else. Yeah. I'll eat it, I'll know that's it, and I'm done. So for me, most of it with food is psychological. If I think things through and I prepare myself and I don't allow myself the opportunity to fall back on convenience foods, I'm fine. Okay. How about you though? Because you've got a different mentality to me. what kind of active things have you done to either improve meals or improve snacking?
The one thing that I've done, I haven't done it this week, but I sometimes do it, is prepare. Have you ever heard of overnight oats, breakfast oats?
Somebody said this at work, and I nodded as if I knew, but I didn't know. So tell
So
me.
basically, all it is so normally you get like a glass jar.
Mhm.
So it could be like just something as simple as like if you had like a spare glass from pasta sauce or something like that, just rinse it out, wash it, and then all you do is just you put some porridge oats in it.
Okay.
So the dried porridge oats.
Yeah.
And then you put milk,
Okay.
and then normally you can either do it the next day if you have fresh fruit,
Mhm.
or the day before, which is what I do. I put a tiny bit of honey if you want that sort of sweetness in it,
Okay.
and some frozen fruit on top,
Mhm.
and then within the jar, and then you just stir it,
Right.
and then close the lid and put it in the fridge overnight,
Oh, nice.
and then the next day you have some oats to eat
So do you
For
have
breakfast.
So you have it for breakfast.
for breakfast. Yep, and the frozen fruit would have defrosted,
Uh-huh.
and then you just give it an extra stir, and then you got a little bit of the honey if you want, and then the oats would have absorbed all the milk.
Well, so you're putting this in the you're putting it in the fridge.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Oh wow, that's a good tip.
So people, you probably see, if you search around, you probably see people have variations. So I know some people put like chia seeds as
I
well
was
in
gonna
there,
say little
and
things like that.
but then the next day, you know, if you got fresh fruit, like some people would put some bananas on top, etc. And it's just a it's almost like a cold version of a porridge.
So I'm not a huge fan of hot porridge. So that sounds like a decent shout for me. I think it's good as well because it sounds like a good alternative to going into a garage or going into a shop and getting one of their like muesli pots or bircher pots that are
Yeah.
pre-packaged because they have so much added sugar. At least with you doing this overnight oats thing, you can control the nutrients that you're putting into it.
Yeah, you define it yourself, and it's quite nice. Especially you can just use a pasta jar that you had before, and all you do is just wash it out for the next time you need it, and then you can prepare like 3 or 4 in advance, so you know,
Super cool.
so you can mix it up, and it's quite a nice little thing. So normally, you probably put, I would say about half a cup of oats,
Mm-hmm.
and then you generally like you put the milk up to the line where the oats is in the jar.
Yep.
But it all depends. If you like a little bit softer or a bit more solid, then you reduce the amount of milk or add extra milk.
Oh, okay.
And then you put I normally put a teaspoon of honey in there.
Right.
But it's up to you. You could, if you don't like it sweet, you don't
Yeah.
have to have it. And then the fruit on top is up to you.
Yeah.
Like I put blueberry. Like we have a bag of like frozen blueberries, pineapple,
I guess you can
chocolate
put frozen
confused.
stuff in as well.
Yeah, you just
'Cause that's cheaper as well.
you just buy loads of frozen stuff, and sometimes the frozen fruit you can buy like mixed bags and stuff. And all you do is just like you just add it in at the top. They could be all clumped together and slightly frozen, but you know the next day it would have defrosted by then,
Yeah.
and then you can stir it up.
That's a good. See, I'm learning something on the podcast too. So other people must be learning this or saying, "Christy, you're useless." But
But there's loads of people who have variations of this kind of recipe,
amazing.
who've done it, and it looks quite nice.
If our listeners who are already into the overnight oats secret, if they already know that little tip, make a comment with some recipes because that'd be great if we could get some in. I'm definitely going to try some out.
Let me well you can carry on talking.
But,
I'll show you a quick image.
I think. Oh right, that looks delicious. Amazing.
Yeah, if you so for those, I know this is a podcast, so viewing is quite hard. But if you just generally just Google overnight oats, you get quite a lot of people who post it, and it's quite a simple thing in terms of what people do. Some people have vegan style. Some people even I know some people don't like milk as much. You still need the kind of liquid, so sometimes they put a little bit of water but yogurt instead.
Oh, nice.
But of course it makes it quite
Adds
I guess-
calories, I guess, as well.
It-
Adds protein.
you could
though.
add calorie, but it's more like it makes it very viscous.
Oh, okay.
In that sense, because
Yeah.
when you add yogurt, so some people add a little bit of water,
Yeah. Oh, okay.
just to, if you don't like it as thick.
Yeah, yeah. See, I think I quite like the yogurt aspect, but I think that's a great tip, and I think generally something we've maybe not touched on, or I briefly mentioned a few comments ago. Price as well as a thing. So you're gonna have different factors when you're looking at your nutrition. You know, we can't all spend unlimited amounts of money on food, and sometimes when you look at nutrition plans for running and for training in general, you think, wow, how am I going to afford all of this? So you really do.
Yeah, like looking at it, like I'm not being. I don't think we should say that it's like a bad thing. I think they're really good.
So this is BBC Good Food.
But sometimes you just think when it. So BBC Good Food, they've done like a little bit of advice on kind of. These are example training and nutritions. So,
yeah, so
you know,
nutrition plans for
you don't
training.
necessarily have to do these kind of things. But I don't know about you, but I feel like crab and asparagus omelette.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if that's quite the cheapest of meals.
No.
You could
I
have
mean,
for breakfast.
it's not going to be cheap. B, you're going to go out. You know, you got to go out and find crab and asparagus anyway. You're not going to necessarily get crab at your local corner shop. It's, you know, and if you've got three or four kids in the house, you're not going to go out on a crab and asparagus hunt. So yeah, again, it's cost, it's convenience. You're going to have to factor all these things in, and that just leads to emphasize the point that preparation is key.
Yeah, because like other things that they put on there, like scrambled egg muffin that you make at home, that's quite good.
Yeah,
you know, a scrambled egg and some muffins.
Just like your actual training plan itself, tailor it around your life. You know, adapt it. If week 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, something's not working, whether it be the running itself or the nutrition, go ahead and change it. You know, adapt it. The key is that you get through your training plan and you get there on the day of the race, fit, healthy, and raring to go. You know, there is no shame in adapting your plan.
Yeah.
Food plan or running plan.
I guess the one question is, have you ever eaten various certain meals and then specifically know, like, next day, actually, I've eaten quite heavily, so I'm not going to do exercise, or, you know, I've eaten quite a stocky, like, carby kind of day, and then it's like, I'll go for a run? Or do you just kind of like, well, I meant to run today, so I'm going to do the run anyway? Have you ever... I know it's like some plans do kind of have that focus on, yeah, if you have a bit more of a carb day, if you're going to do some light, you know, training days that are a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Or if you're resting, then you can go for a little bit more of the protein. I could... It's almost like when you read it, you go, the logic's brilliant. I understand the logic. I understand why you do it. But, you know, you could see by what we've been eating every single day, we don't do it. We don't do it or follow it. Or
I think it's like anything. Like with the internet, there are so many different plans and so many different voices telling you to do different things. I think there's an amount of common sense to go into it. So, you know, it's always the kind of thing where the night before, the myth is you need to eat a big old pasta meal, or you need to go all out on your food the night before to get ready, night before a race to get ready. Okay? Mm-hmm. But the marathon training day that I was at last weekend, that I mentioned in the last episode, that kind of doesn't make sense, because your body's going to have to digest all that stodgy food. And if you go overboard on that stodgy food, you're going to turn up on the race day still feeling bloated. Yeah. And that's not going to help you. So there's an amount of common sense that comes with it. Yes, you need to have enough carbs in your body to run, but don't overdo it.
Yeah.
You know, don't perpetuate the myth that you have to eat loads and loads and loads of carbs and that will turn you into, you know, a human rocket. You know, if you overfill your car with petrol's going to, like, spill out everywhere, and it's not going to work.
Good one.
So, you know, if you eat and eat and eat and eat and eat, you're going to start running and you're just going to vom everywhere. I'm sure that happens to people.
And that's
do you know what I mean?
And that's not nutritious.
That's not nutritious.
Or delicious.
Or delicious. That's just rank. And who's going to keep running after vomiting everywhere?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's kind of... We'll touch briefly, because we'll go into this in detail when we actually have our kind of race day episode and pre-race day episode. But any kind of things you wanted to mention on kind of pre-race meals or the breakfast of the race day, or any kind of things that you've heard that you know, little tips that you would have while running?
I think the biggest tip has always been eat what you know. When you're that close to the race day, I think you mentioned it as well a bit last week. It's just like get yourself fit and ready on the day.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the key things I find is like for the couple of days up to it, leading up to it, is just to eat what you know. By then, you should all the things that you tried and tested throughout the weeks.
Yeah.
By that final week, it should be what you eat. Whether it's right, I feel for me, whether it's right or wrong, in the end, you just have to go with your gut, quite literally.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's like a good analogy is like if you're running in a pair of shoes during your training, they might not be the best shoes, but wearing them on the race day is going to be more beneficial than getting an awesome new pair of shoes on the morning and trying to wear those. Because even though those awesome new shoes are awesome and new, your feet aren't going to be used to them and you're going to wreck your feet. It's the same with food. Even if your nutrition plan, like mine, is not particularly great, don't try something new and radical on the day and expect it to give you a turbo boost, because it's probably just going to mess with your gut.
Yeah,
it's like
definitely.
It's like energy gels. A lot of people don't use energy gels during their training, and then on the day they buy themselves a big old utility belt, like Batman style, of energy gels, and they pop one of those every couple of hours, and they feel gross, and they feel like they want to throw up, or it wrecks their kind of. They feel like they need to go to the loo every hour.
Yeah,
like you are said, stick with what you know. Don't try anything new. We'll kind of go into it again on the race day episode, but some people swear by energy gels. Some people say that they can actually make you more dehydrated because your body needs to digest them, and it draws water away from the rest of your body and makes you dehydrated.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, the key takeaway is prepare, get used to a kind of nutrition routine in your training, and emulate that on the day.
Yep.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Amazing. So yeah, that's nutrition in a nutshell. Okay? I only feel like we've skimmed the surface. That was a milk joke. But yeah, take the time. The key is prepare. You know, think about what you're going to eat. Give it the same kind of, give your nutrition plan the same kind of love and care as you would your running plan, because you know your nutrition is your engine room.
Yeah.
And if your engine room's not firing on all cylinders, you're going to crash and burn. That's a good analogy. Would you agree?
Yeah, I'll definitely agree to that.
And as we've been saying, you can get away with not eating right, but why would you do that and not enjoy your running?
Yeah.
It makes sense, doesn't it? So that does it for episode 7, aka week 6. What's the plan for next week?
I think next week what we're gonna cover is a little bit more closely to as you're getting closer to race day. I think the best thing is to cover about why do we. I know we covered a little bit about why do we run, but so I know a lot of people who participate in these events, and you know you're working closely with one. They run for charities.
Yes.
Or run for other certain reasons to be fit and healthy, but kind of go into we'll talk about a little bit more in detail about it, the pressures that come from it, because in the end, like, you know, there are some aspects of running for charity that does exert a bit of pressure on the person.
Yeah, so I guess fundraising.
And, yeah, it's a big
feeling responsible.
Yeah.
Letting people down. It's a big one, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a big one, and in general, you know, I think sometimes, especially when people try to fundraise, I know there's the pressure as well, but it's kind of like it's a little bit of a sensitive topic because it's like, oh, but you're raising money for a good cause, but then it's kind of like I need to hit these targets, and so
yeah. I guess we'll be looking at charity from a running perspective, and because it's something you can't avoid now, because you know so many people get into running because of a charity
it's getting
cause.
so, and also these specific events are becoming so much more popular. Like sometimes charity is the only access route into some events.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So that sounds like a chunky episode to take on.
Yes.
Thank you as always for tuning in with myself and you are. If you've got any comments, if you've got any tips or knowledge to impart, please do so on our socials or on the various platforms on which our podcast is broadcast.
Yes.
What platforms are we on? Remind me.
So we're finally on pretty much all the various Android versions that you can find. iTunes, Spotify as well. And also this week we will be releasing our new Instagram.
Yes.
So
what's the handle for that?
I actually don't know. Because we haven't quite created it, but...
We will open with our Instagram handle at the top of the next episode. But as always, thank you so much for tuning in. Have a good week of running, and we will see you next week.
Yeah. See you later.
Awesome.